Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news, it is the last weekend before Manatee County students will be heading back to school, and in Sarasota County there's still a few days to get those last-minute supplies. One local mother, however, is helping those less fortunate cross off the final items on their school supply list. ABC 7's Erica Jackson joins us live in Sarasota for a closer look at those efforts. Erica?
Good evening, Adam. You can find a notebook like this for about 25 or 50 cents. But students also need calculators and folders and pens and pencils. And the cost of those items can add up quickly. So that's why the Sarasota Police Department and other community members are giving parents one less reason to stress.
We got to get clothes, shoes, and some stuff I couldn't get.
It's a year of firsts for Destiny Dexter. She recently got her 4 kids back from the Department of Children and Families. Now her 1-year-old is getting ready to start daycare for the first time as her daughter prepares for first grade.
She grew out of her shoes, so you have to buy more shoes, got to buy more clothes, so she's growing up.
Also growing, the cost of clothing and school supplies for her kids. A survey by the National Retail Federation finds families will spend nearly $700 this year on supplies. But Dexter thinks she's spending more with 4 kids heading to school.
With the daycare, I have to buy pull-ups, bring blankets, mats, and all that stuff.
Even if they have a job, it's still hard because you have bills.
Newtown mom and local comedian Latrice Allen sees families struggle this time of year, which is why she asked her fans around the country for help.
We basically raised up money, like $1,500, and then I had some sending in packages and still sending in money to help me out with this.
Now dozens of kids will be ready for the first day of school with brand new backpacks filled with supplies. Allen says Sunday's school supply drive did not discriminate based on a family's income, but she made sure the only kids taking home backpacks did not already have one for this year.
Even if you work, you still deserve, to have some time, some money to yourself.
Most people are like, oh no, that's embarrassing, but it's really not. It's helpful. The kids happy, at least they got something to go to school with.
And you still have time to donate. The Sarasota Police Department is collecting supplies for kids in need through Wednesday, and the Sarasota County School District is collecting supplies at the Culvers on University Parkway through August 18th. Reporting live in Sarasota, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Erica, thank you very much. In other news, we have some new developments tonight on the body that was found near Bay Vista Street and Yale Avenue in Sarasota on Saturday. Detectives identifying that body as Andre Bryant, a man who spent 9 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. Bryant was convicted in a high-profile armed robbery case in Manatee County back in 2006 after he was spotted in the area of the crime. He was given a 30-year prison sentence but always maintained his innocence. After a Sarasota Herald Tribune investigation, the state attorney's office looked into this case again, sparking reasonable doubt as to his involvement. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating his death and looking into a possible connection between his death and another double homicide that happened in Bayshore Gardens early Saturday morning. Well, a hazmat situation in a Venice strip mall shut down shopping this afternoon. The Sarasota County Fire Department responding to a pool store along Jacaranda Boulevard this afternoon following reports of a chemical spill. Crews arrived to find a 1,300-gallon tank had several holes in it and was leaking chlorine into an overflow basin. Crews working quickly to evacuate some surrounding businesses in fear that those concentrated chemicals may cause inhalation issues.
With the chlorine, our hazardous materials crew advised me that typically the chlorine itself leaking isn't going to be too much of an issue, just based on it's the same type of chemical that you put in your pool, but it's highly concentrated. The main issue would be if it were to get wet, that there could be some irritation, an inhalation hazard or something to that effect.
A crew will now be called in to remove that leaking tank and replace the overflow basin that chlorine had been leaking into. No injuries have been reported. And now for a first check on our weather, we head over to Steve Newman in for Wendy Ross this weekend. Steve, welcome back.
Thanks, Adam. We've got some storms, just like I said what happened yesterday, developing right across the Sun Coast. A lot of moisture flowing in from the southeast. You can see the storms explode in the last 2 or 3 hours. Some of them have had a lot of lightning, which we can see on our radar loop for the last couple of hours. particularly across Charlotte County. That storm that was approaching us from Charlotte Harbor into southern Sarasota County kind of washed out. A few remnants are right offshore of Casey Key right now. Another pretty strong storm about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago came across Lakewood Ranch and Bradenton and now moved down to Tampa Bay. Parrish got hit pretty heavily too from that. Now our futurecast that takes us through tonight has a pretty good initialization of the situation, and it's going to predict right on through 8 or 9 o'clock more scattered showers and thunderstorms, but thinning out the overnight hours. It looks like it'll be dry after about 10 o'clock tonight. It's also going to be warm with temperatures after a brief cooling from the storms remaining pretty close to 77 or 78 all night long. Adam will have a look at the tropics. We have 2 features to look at coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. The search for 3 missing U.S. Marines off the coast of Australia has turned from a rescue mission into a recovery effort. The 3 were among 23 passengers on board a controversial Osprey aircraft that went into the water. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is in Washington with the latest.
This morning, the first images of the crash survivors at the hospital. The Marines rescued after their aircraft went down during a routine practice flight off the east coast of Australia. Overnight, investigators suspending the search for 3 service members missing at sea, now calling it a recovery mission. The Marines likely did not survive. Their MV-22 aircraft, also known as an Osprey, hit the water around 4 p.m. local time Saturday. U.S. military aircraft and ships scoured the water for hours, crews managing to rescue 23 of the 26 Marines on board.
It is unfortunate, but it is a fact of life in military aviation that those mishaps are going to occur.
These accidents have happened before. In January of this year, 3 U.S. soldiers were hurt in an Osprey hard landing in Yemen. And in 2015, an Osprey crashed during a military exercise in Hawaii. Images show it erupting in a ball of fire. 2 Marines killed.
So it's a difficult environment to operate in and to train for, but it's absolutely required for us to be prepared for combat.
This is the 2nd military plane to crash in less than a month. 15 Marines and 1 sailor killed when their military transport plane crashed in Mississippi, also on a training exercise.
The Osprey belongs to a unit based out of Okinawa, Japan. And with an upcoming training exercise, the Japanese defense minister now says he wants the U.S. to stop flying the aircraft in Japan until all information about the crash is known. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
And back here in Florida, officials have condemned 2 more homes due to that Florida sinkhole, bringing the total to 6 homes that are now unlivable. Authorities in Land O'Lakes, a suburban area north of Tampa, announcing on Sunday that 2 additional homes have now been condemned. This coming after 2 houses were condemned on Saturday, and 2 more were destroyed when that ground caved in during mid-July. That sinkhole is now reaching about 260 feet in diameter. The announcement coming at a difficult time for families displaced just before school starts.
The news last night that we're not going to be able to go back in ever to the house is sad, but it offers closure. It offers you a direction, which for the last 3 weeks we haven't had one.
Crews have been brought in to stabilize the banks. Then once the edges are stabilized, workers hope to remove debris with the help of a boat ramp so they can work from a barge which will float on top of the water in that sinkhole. Well, if you're looking for a job, how about iguana wrangler? Yeah, you heard that right. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is looking for someone to take the lead on dealing with iguanas throughout the state. The lizards are not considered aggressive, but they do have teeth, claws, and a whip-like tail that can inflict injury in a tangle with people or pets. These reptiles are essentially vegetarian, but scientists fear that they continue to endanger plant and native species, especially down in the Florida Keys. Well, no winners overnight in either of the 2 huge back-to-back lottery drawings, Powerball and Mega Millions, which means the jackpot will continue to rise. But what are the odds of actually winning? The Powerball grand prize now soaring to $307 million, making your chances of winning 1 in 292 million, while the Mega Millions jackpot rises to a whopping $346 million, and your Mega Millions chances are 1 in 259 million. Totally reasonable. Yeah, clearly both astronomical numbers, but for many, the prize is worth the risk.
I have confidence, and I just feel like I'm coming out here to get the winning tickets.
Somebody's got to win it. May not be tonight, but it's going to be sometime. And why not me?
You gotta love that enthusiasm. The next drawing for Mega Millions is next Tuesday, August 8th, and the next Powerball drawing will be Wednesday, August 9th. And you can catch those winning numbers right here on ABC 7. Well, still to come here on ABC 7, the investigation continues into the tragic incident at the Ohio State Fair, what the manufacturer of the thrill ride says was the cause of its malfunction. And pop star Taylor Swift prepares for court this week for a case of sexual assault.
If you're thinking about replacing your windows, what matters most to you? We found what matters is high performance. Our customers want energy-efficient windows built for Florida weather. Windows that can stand everything from scorching sun to hurricanes. Our customers want windows that reflect their life, their lifestyle. Windows that will last a lifetime. We listen to our customers, and as a result, we're growing. So if you're looking to replace your windows, stop here at New South Window.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Attention blood thinner users. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The widely prescribed blood thinners Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to a number of dangerous side effects, including internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney bleeding, stroke, brain hemorrhaging, and even death. If you or a loved one suffered any of these injuries after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Consumer Cellular makes it easy to stay in touch with family and stay within our budget.
Now our cell phone bill is only a fraction of what it used to be.
Our average customers get everything they need for about $25 a month, and plans start at only $10 a month with no contracts.
Consumer Cellular has a great choice of phones. Check out my new one. I picked this simple phone.
I use my son's old smartphone. Kept my number, too.
Consumer Cellular has been an approved AARP provider since 2008, and members get exclusive discounts.
It's a good thing Consumer Cellular is always there, because sometimes I need a little help. Sometimes.
We're proud to have received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service among non-contract wireless providers.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of change.
We actually use change. Luckily, there are some things we can still afford.
Like Consumer Cellular.
Stop paying too much for wireless service. Switch now, and for a limited time, get a $20 credit on any new line of service. Call 1-800-920-3084. Go online or visit a Target store today.
I am powerful beyond my wildest imagination.
I will define my future.
I will keep challenging myself to improve. Because I am a future leader of this great nation.
I will make a difference in my community.
I will not settle for simply chasing my dreams, I will achieve them.
Because I was given a chance.
An opportunity.
At Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America.
The ultimate leadership experience.
Join us. We'll build a new future together.
Welcome back. The Dutch manufacturer of a thrill ride that broke apart and killed an 18-year-old man at the Ohio State Fair says excessive corrosion on a support beam is what led to that catastrophic failure. Company officials visited the accident site and conducted tests that found the corrosion dangerously reduced the thickness on the wall of a beam holding a passenger gondola on the swinging and spinning ride. Similar rides were shut down worldwide following the accident. 4 people remained hospitalized, including 1 woman in a coma following that incident, which took place on July 24th. Well, General Motors is recalling almost 700,000 vehicles for a steering issue. The company saying that its 2014 Chevrolet Silverados and GMC Sierra trucks are potentially affected. The problem is in the software that controls electric power steering assistance. It has a glitch that can cause vehicles to spontaneously lose power steering for about 1 second. And when it's suddenly returned, drivers can lose control of the steering wheel. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says this is particularly dangerous when performing low-speed turns. Well, Taylor Swift's legal action plays out in a Denver courtroom this week. The singer accusing a disc jockey of groping her. ABC's Mark Remillard tells us what this is all about.
This week, Taylor Swift going head-to-head, she said, he said, with a former disc jockey. The pop superstar is expected to testify in a Denver courtroom accusing KYGO Radio's David Muller of assault. Key evidence is this photo obtained by TMZ, taken backstage at the pop superstar's concert at the Pepsi Center in Denver in 2013. Swift claims Muller, quote, took his hand and put it up my dress, grabbing her backside, saying it was completely intentional and I've never been so sure of anything in my life.
She had no reason to fabricate this.
Muller, age 51 and a morning show host at a country radio station at the time of the incident, denies the charges.
My hand was never under her skirt. I never grabbed her.
In my opinion, this photograph is not conclusive. It's not definitive.
Muller is suing for $3 million in damages, claiming Swift's reps pressured the radio station to fire him.
He has to prove that Taylor Swift either negligently and or intentionally wanted him fired. I think that's extremely difficult to prove.
Swift is countersuing for assault and battery. She is seeking a verdict that awards her $1. Jury selection begins Monday. Mark Remillard, ABC News, New York.
Well, Steve, we're keeping a pretty close eye on the tropics right now, aren't we?
The Mexican government has just issued a tropical storm warning for the Yucatan Peninsula. It could be Tropical Storm Franklin. It's not there yet, but we'll look at it. And our week ahead weather coming up. We've got some storms in the area. On the Lakewood Ranch cam, you can see from earlier today, about 3, 4, 5 o'clock, we had some thunder and lightning and a storm that eventually made it over downtown Bradenton up to Parrish and out over Palmetto and eventually washed out over Tampa Bay. We'll look at that on radar in a minute. But right now at the airport, a beautiful day over Sarasota Bay, 81. The dew point's down a little bit. I think we've had some dry air blow in and the outflow of these storms. 67. It's pretty dry considering we've been in the 73 to 75 degree range on dew points for the last couple of days. High today 91, last night's low 76, pretty close to normal on both counts. If we take a look at the satellite, this is the brand new GOES-16 satellite, still in test mode, but we're showing you some of these test images very clearly, the southeasterly flow across the state. And it has such high resolution, you can actually see the individual cumulus clouds as well as the thunderstorms that just explode during the afternoon and the outflow boundaries. It's a beautiful thing to see for us meteorologists. I hope you're appreciating it too. And the radar images show those storms in that southeasterly flow. Now the one that came across Charlotte Harbor is now washed out off Casey Key, but if you look upstream coming in from like Glades County, eastern Charlotte County, we could have more coming in for another hour or two. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that because I have some lightning. Now let's look at the tropics, and we have two systems to talk about. The least important one right now is an African easterly wave with a 50% chance of developing. But the main concern right now is down in the central Caribbean. It doesn't have a central circulation yet, but it could become Tropical Storm Franklin. Now, as it moves into the Gulf of Honduras, the shape of the coast here can actually encourage a spin-up of a tropical storm. If not here, if it passes over the Yucatan, this bowl of the Gulf of Campeche actually can increase the chance of a tropical storm developing. And right now it's still Invest 90 with 35-mile-an-hour winds, but the Mexican government issued a tropical storm warning for all of Yucatan. Far northern Belize has a tropical storm watch, and the spaghetti plot shows pretty sure all the models agreeing it's going to go over Yucatan. And a closer look at the wind speed and pressure from the GFS model shows it could be a tropical storm as it approaches the Quintana Roo coast of Mexico. And then it moves over into Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly becoming a tropical storm by late Wednesday, but then washing out over interior Mexico. Now let's go back out in the Atlantic. Now this one could potentially affect the United States, but the models have been all over on this one. Invest 99L. 30-mile-an-hour winds, has a 50% chance of developing, and the models yesterday had it going over the Greater Antilles. Now it's out in the Atlantic. It could go north, it could go south, but it's a week away from any potential threat to the United States. John Scalzi and Bob Harrigan will look at this very closely over the next few days. Now here's our future cast for the overnight. The storms pass. It's dry late at night, all day Monday, at least in the morning, and then more Monday afternoon, and another outbreak of afternoon and evening thunderstorms coming in for Tuesday. Now here's our beach and boating forecast. Southeast in the morning, southwest in the afternoon, 10 knots, seas 2 feet, bay and inland waters a light chop. It's going to be 90 degrees or thereabout in the air and water over the the Gulf of Mexico. Now here's our forecast for tonight. Thunderstorms ending, 77 the overnight low temperature with east-southeast winds 5 to 10. And our 7-day outlook shows we're pretty typical for the chance of rain this time of year. 50, 60, 50 right on through next weekend, or at least through next Saturday. I think we are going to be taking a close look at the tropics for the next several days. Things are heating up as we move into August, as you would expect, Adam.
Now, sports.
Tampa Bay Rays staring down the wrong end of another possible sweep situation at home against Milwaukee. The Rays ending a 21-inning scoreless drought with an early run Sunday, but Corey Dickerson is robbed of a possible double right there by Eric Thames in left field. But however, 1 inning later, justice, sweet justice for Dickerson in left, robs Thames of a hit and probably an RBI right there, and it keeps the Rays lead at 1. Tie game in the 9th. That's Steven Souza Jr. dropping head on a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. It closes the book on this series. The Rays avoid the sweep in walk-off fashion, which is exactly what manager Kevin Cash says he envisioned going into the 9th.
That's what it was going to take. We weren't piecing together or anything. I can promise you that. We tried that for 3 days and failed. So it was going to take somebody to leave the ballpark.
If our skipper can call homers like that, I mean, he should probably buy a lotto ticket. But you know, we're just trying to piece together some good at bats. Unfortunately, this series we just couldn't get that big knock, but it was great right there to come through.
It's the Rays' first walk-off home run victory since May of 2014. Well, longtime Bears quarterback Jay Cutler is heading to Miami. The Dolphins and Cutler have reportedly agreed to a 1-year contract worth $10 million. Cutler is expected to compete with Matt Moore for the Dolphins' starting job now that Ryan Tannehill is out with a left knee injury that could sideline him for the entire season. Dolphins head coach Adam Gase was offensive coordinator in Chicago during the 2015 season, in which Cutler posted the best QB rating of his career. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone.
Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better reader.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions?
Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
The Sarasota Sheriff's Office is celebrating a very special birthday this weekend. Grace Weigman of Sarasota is turning 10 years old. Last year, Grace invited her school resource deputy to attend her birthday party, but unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So he ended up calling in a little backup, a lieutenant and sergeant with the force, responding to make Grace's birthday extra special last year. So special that she invited them back again this year, along with several more deputies, all wishing her a very happy birthday. A 9-year-old space fan from New Jersey is shooting to become a spaceman for NASA. Jack Davis sending this letter to the agency responding to its search for a new planetary protection officer. Now that job is for a scientist working to prevent possible contamination from samples brought back from space. Jack's letter claiming that he was qualified for the job because he saw many alien and superhero movies. He's a self-proclaimed guardian of the galaxy, and he actually got a thank you letter back from NASA. Unfortunately, no job offer was in it, but NASA told Jack to do well in school, and maybe one day he will get there. We could use a couple more Guardians of the Galaxy.
Maybe he will become Star-Lord.
We can only hope. We need some Guardians of the tropics right now.
We do. We've got a storm that could potentially hit the Yucatan Peninsula in another day, but for us, we don't have any tropical problems right now, and a 50 to 60% chance of rain all week long.
Sounds good. Break out the sunscreen, I guess, for windows there. We'll see you later tonight.